heat. Fuck, like,
You see that fan?
let's
Hey,
keep it a
listen,
buck. That
Meg gonna have
goddamn
to. They're gonna have to do this summer.
heat.
Y'all gonna have to grab
Nah.
a fan. Look, or hold on. There you go. He know he won't hold this fan, y'all. He know he want. Let me. I'm a just so. But what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Tonight we are coming to you guys just briefly. We will not be having a full show tonight. And I know that it's probably going to make some people sad. I know I'm sad. I'm sad and I'm kind of happy because I have another engagement that is extremely important that I have to tend to. So I'm not able to do a full show. I know the producer in the background is probably like, woo woo. No, I'm not. Oh, you like the tea? So tonight we were bringing back the topic absent fathers for a second time. Last week we talked about absent fathers with absent fathers and daughters' lives, and it got a bit emotional, just a little bit emotional, but it was also really good to hear how Jolly is a prominent figure in his stepdaughters' lives and how he has implemented date night and things like that with his stepdaughters so that they don't feel the absence, and they don't even have an absent father, but so that they don't feel that, being having a stepdad can be hard. I know there's a story of a 11-year-old girl who committed suicide because her mom met a man, fell in love, and proposed to her and got married. So the whole proposal was like fun and it was beautiful and she got along with the stepfather and everything. But once they got married, they had a baby. And the little girl wrote a letter to her mom about how she felt like the stepdad and the new baby took over her life and they took her mom away from her. And so she ended her life. So I only share that story because as I talk about you being with your stepdaughters and implementing date night and things like that, that's extremely important because when you come in as a step parent, it's important and it is essential for you to build a bond and a relationship with the child, just like you fall in love with the mother. So I commend you on that. I definitely love that you've done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely obviously it's important. As you and I had these conversations before, whatever. I want to tip my hat off to you because something took place recently, and I'm not going to get into it. It was unnecessary and it was uncalled for, and the fact that I saw what you posted, and I was reading the caption like, "Dang, man!" Like, I mean, obviously, I got folks out there, whatever, who rock with me and stuff like that. But when I saw that post, I was just like, I ain't taking away from nothing that nobody do. How people be looking out, making sure, I can count on him and stuff like that. But when you made that post, I was like, that made me feel good, and I was just in a moment like I was upset and angry, and then a day or two later I saw that post, and I'm like, you know what? Even if I personally don't feel like somebody like, all right, I can count on him to hold me down, to to be the protector, stuff like that, with the help of the Most High. He gonna do it for these girls, and that made me feel good, especially with what took place in a personal aspect of my life. And I'm like, it just just got me a little emotional. I wasn't like, oh, Terry. It just was
He
like
was teary-eyed a little bit. He was a little teary-eyed, and that's okay because you know what? It's important for men to be emotional as well. And I want to say this. When this topic came up to talk about absent fathers and their daughters' lives, of course, Jolly and I both we talk about topics that we want to bring to the recipe. But Jolly brought this particular topic. A lot of people probably thought it was me because I've always talked about how I've been a single mom and I'm doing this by myself and da 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 da. But Jolly brought this up and he brought it up in a moment
you pulled off prom though. I'm gonna let you finish, but you pulled up like you was blowing my phone up trying to network with me on something, and then when I talked to you, I think that morning it was like, well, look, just do this, do that, and I'm like, oh, what you doing? I'm like, oh, okay, you pulled it off, and I always And I'm gonna let you get back, but I just definitely wanted to like tip my hat to you because like
Thank you.
it's always for me it's always like dag like women who don't have those fathers there, whatever the circumstances may be, and to see women achieve whatever it takes. Now, whether you had help from here or there, it don't matter. You made sure they was pulling up and hopping out. So
Absolutely,
I wanted to tell you,
absolutely.
like, yeah,
And
you
I
did
appreciate that.
that.
And let me tell you something. You know what? It's even better. Like it's a blessing to even get that acknowledgement and to understand what it took. Because another thing you don't even know is, and people don't even know, the morning of prom, I came to the studio because I also have other stuff here, business here to take care of. And I stopped through the studio, and the entire studio was flooded. So I cleaned up the
Wow.
entire flood in the studio downstairs by myself the morning of prom and still made sure prom was done. Like when
Oh,
I tell you
wow.
it so to even hear like, you pulled it off. For me, I was like, I couldn't even believe I pulled it off without losing my mind because
Yeah.
it's of course, as you could imagine, it sent me through an emotional shockwave walking into that. And then have knowing like I didn't have no choice, like, no, this flood got to get cleared up because this got to get done and I still got to get back and take care of that. But to do that is important to me for my children because I never want my children to feel like they missing a beat because they don't have. Now,
Mm-hmm.
by God's grace and His mercy, He has blessed me with an amazing wife that has stepped in and made sure that she's filled the shoes that were left 15 years ago
Mm-hmm.
for nobody to walk in. And I appreciate her. So, by God's grace and His mercy, she made sure also that they were able to pull up and feel good. But to be able to do what I do is only because I'm determined. Well, it's only because of God's grace and His mercy. And because I'm determined that even though I know I can never be their father, because my daughters do not have a dad in their life. So that's why I'm saying this. But even though I know I can't be their dad, I don't want them to ever feel like they missing a beat. And I made the post with you and Javon because like for me it was huge for y'all to be there, but to see and hear, to see how happy they were for y'all to be there, and to hear all of the things that they said afterwards, I knew it was important for y'all to be there, but it gives me chills right now as I'm saying it. But it was even more hearing them, it was even more fulfilling for me. Like, wow, like they don't feel, they of course they feel the pain of not having their dad in their life, and they speak of it every now and then. But that day, not once did I hear anything about their father not showing up or their father not being there or anything like that. And I promise you, every other thing that's happened in their life, like it's been like, Daddy didn't even call. Daddy didn't even. Nana didn't even say this. So they talked about the other side. Like I knew that it was hurtful to them. But prom and graduation this year, by God's grace and His mercy, let me tell you something. All I heard was, "Thank you, mommy. Thank you, mom. Or we got the best mom. Or this, that." Like I was grateful and I'm blessed. So one of the reasons we talked about absent fathers is not so much to just talk about our own personal situations, but because we live in a society where we have a lot of children that are broken, a lot of children that are walking around angry, a lot of children that are walking around with trauma. And that trauma is caused because of broken homes. And often those broken homes are not just because the fathers are absent, but sometimes, you have situations where moms put the dads out, or the mom and the dad don't get along, and the dad they move on, and the mom is not allowing the dad to be there. There's so many different key points and ingredients as to why fathers are absent in their lives. And as brief as this show has to be today, I just want to make sure that fathers hear from me that there is no reason that you should ever be absent. We have a court system called family court. We have legal aid. We have prayer. You have we have
But
family. You have
it's
different
crazy
things
you
you could
mentioned
go
that, right?
through.
So a buddy of mine, he that's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's going through something right now,
Yeah.
and I really like. I get it. I'm not saying that they don't put things in place or whatever, but I believe that the system is genuinely flawed.
Absolutely, the system is genuinely
Yeah,
flawed. I won't take away from that
like
at all. It definitely
this
is.
dude, like I sit there and watch the court, and if people know, they know. If they don't, they don't. Whatever. But I'm gonna speak on it. But I sat there and watched the judge say, "This parent has this going on in this house. This parent has this going on in this house, but we're going to overlook the better living arrangement." I'm not saying that this parent is horrible or that parent is horrible. However, I'm referring to the living arrangements, to be specific. And the judge just literally just was like, I don't care if this parent got better living arrangements, the child just gonna go here. And I'm sitting here looking like, what the,
What?
like, yo, I literally watched a judge in Baltimore City essentially say, despite this parent having better living arrangements, we're going to send the children here.
Okay, and you know what? What's sad, right? Is everything happens for a reason.
Of
I'm not
course.
sure why that happened, but the same in Baltimore City, I had a young lady who was in a domestic situation.
Mm-hmm.
When she gave birth, it was a really bad situation. The young man, the father of the child, had to be escorted out of the hospital because he was intoxicated and he was just acting wild and crazy. And he ended up barricading her in the room and taking the telephone out the wall. When he finally fell asleep, she was running down the hallway with the baby to try to get help.
Mm-hmm.
And once she got help, the police came, everything. They removed him from the hospital. They documented everything. They had child protective services coming there.
Okay.
Like it was a whole situation to try to make sure that this mom was safe and her baby. Afterwards, this mom went to court. Well, the mother's mother went to court and filed an ex parte against the father, so that he would not be able to come and see the, come in and harm, her, the child.
Mm-hmm.
The judge told the mother of that child that was a joke. Despite the police report, the hospital, the judge said he would not recognize anything that was sent from the hospital or anything, because the hospital has like what you call the police, hospital police.
Yeah.
He wouldn't recognize any of that. And he said that he was dismissing the case. He told the father, could he please stand? He said, I see a case right now in front of me where you may have some issues trying to have visitation for your child. I see a case where you got a mom already standing up in here that doesn't want you to be a part of your child's life. I suggest you go and file papers immediately. So I talk about that because it's a toss up.
Yeah.
It's like you get judges that will be for the mom and judges that'll be for the dad. You got judges that are just simply assholes. Honestly, I'm just being frank, like really. So I always say, never give up. Don't take a no. Don't take a L.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take that L as an L. It's not. If you're fighting to see your children, to be a part of your children's life, to give them a better living arrangement, if you are fighting for that, don't stop fighting for it. Never stop. And I'm talking to dads and moms in this moment. We're talking about absent fathers, but in closing, because we gotta go, y'all. I really gotta go. But in closing, is never stop fighting for your children. Every child needs their father. Fathers are essential to every child's life. So
I definitely agree. We definitely got to go, because we got 2 minutes or whatever when we tapping out. But I just want to. I agree 100%. That's why I'm a big fan of showering children, not necessarily with gifts, but showering them with love. It's very important to give that love to children and stuff like that or whatever. And that, obviously, in today's age, whatever, you can't bust somebody upside their head with a glass bottle because they violate your child. But you can still do what you need to do. So don't just love on the children. Also be there to be able to protect the children from inside and outside. As they say here in our country, love this country.
Yes, I bet you do.
They say,
I bet you do, Mr.
protect them
Trump.
children. That's right, Uncle Donnie. But no, protect them children from domestic and foreign threats. Domestic threats is, within the household, within the family. Obviously, foreign threats is everything outside or whatever. Protect the children, and like Sister said, love on them kids and do what you gotta do. Fight for them.
Fight for them. All right, y'all. We're closing out. Thank you so much for tuning in for this short show. Make sure you tuned in next Thursday, 7 p.m. And I'm going to do some little lives later on. But I'll see you soon. Good night.
Peace, love.